Yeah, I'm excited to be here to get to, talk to all of you today. I'm very excited for this course because it's going to be about talking and improving our speaking skills. So today is a workshop day. It's not as long as a normal course, but you will all have the opportunity to get a little taste or a feeling to see what this course is like. So today I will do a little introduction about myself, and then we'll talk a little about the course, and then we'll get to do a quick workshop, little exercise to see what it's like to be part of the course and some of the things we might do. So I'll get us started here really quick. I'll share my screen with you guys. Let's share screen. All right. All right. So can everybody see my screen there? I think so. Start from the beginning here. If you have any questions, Gus?
Yeah, we can see that clearly.
All right, perfect. Perfect. I always like to make sure. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat, and me and Thelina can go through them at the end of each slide. I have two different slides, and we'll go through the first one now. So the first one, I have the privilege of introducing myself to you guys. I am Lee Castle, and here we go. So I'll start with the first basic three questions. Who am I? Where do I come from? And where am I now? So we'll start with I'm Lee, and I'm 25 years old. And where do I come from? I come from the United States of America. And if we look at the picture on the left-hand side, that is a picture of me in my hometown in the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is on the East Coast, and it's near New York City and Washington, D.C., like I said in my introduction video. And in this picture, I'm standing there with my father, my mother, and my two grandparents. We grew up on a small farm in, yes, the town of Hershey, which you might know because it's very popular for its chocolate, Hershey's chocolate, all over the world. And now I'm actually living in Leipzig, Germany, and working as an English teacher. So on the left-hand side, you can see a picture of me and my two friends at a Leipzig soccer game. And yeah, it's really fun. I'm a big RB fan, and I really like soccer. So what have I done? So this question is asking me about what are my experiences professionally. So after high school, I graduated from high school in 2015, and then I attended Messiah University for 4 years and acquired my bachelor's degree in business management. After Messiah, I worked for about a year roughly as a sales representative for a beer company. And in the picture on the left-hand side, you can see a picture of me doing my sales job at a store with a bunch of Budweiser beer. It was a fun item to sell. And after working for a year of sales, I then moved to our family business, which was selling wine and hard cider. So on the bottom right-hand side, you can see 3 different cans of my hard cider that I produced. And yeah, I did that for about a year. It was a lot of fun, but I started doing some teaching afterwards at some local schools, and I fell in love with teaching. And I had the privilege to start teaching English, which was awesome because in this job you can teach people how to communicate, you can talk to other people, and it really pulled at some of my passions. So I decided, let's follow this career, where I got my TEFL certificate over the summer and began teaching English here in Leipzig, Germany. All right, what are some of my hobbies? So we'll start at the picture on the left, and I will work to the right. So on the left is a picture of me in the city of Dresden. I love to travel. Traveling is one of my favorite hobbies. I like to meet new people, see new things, and yeah, go all over the world. I had the privilege of going to South Korea, various parts of Europe, like Great Britain, Scotland, England, and Wales. And I also got to go to Ireland. I got to go to Italy, and travel around mainland Europe, which was Czech Republic, Germany, Sweden, and the Netherlands. And the middle picture is a picture of me traveling across the United States and doing one of my other favorite hobbies, which is hiking or climbing mountains. In this picture, I am in the state of Wyoming at Yellowstone National Park. And here we got to climb Electric Peak, which is a very tall mountain. It was a lot of fun. And I also like sports. So on the right hand side, you can see a picture of me wrestling in college. I was a wrestler from the time I was little until I graduated college. So yeah, it was a good time and a strong passion. Okay, now that you got to learn a little about me, I would like to introduce some aspects of this class. And there's going to be 5 main points that me and Felina will use to improve and grade your speech. Those 5 points are pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, rhythm, and creativity. So I'll start with pronunciation. Pronunciation is very important. And while you might have very good grammar skills and might know a lot of vocabulary, a lot of non-native speakers do struggle with pronunciation, and that can still lead to confusion for a native speaker or somebody with a different dialect when you're speaking in English. So improving pronunciation is a crucial part, and we will work on that in this class. I'll provide some pronunciation practice and some different exercises through our different themes, topics, and activities that we can try and work and improve our pronunciation. The next point is grammar. So grammar is something that is very important, and I think we all know. When we don't know how to express an idea in a specific context, then often we need to add words. We need to use different rules that we know, and it ends up making the sentence a little more confusing or longer, more choppy, and it doesn't flow quite as well. So we will work on different grammar points throughout this course, and that depends on what we need as a class. So when we see me and Felina, if we see the class as a whole struggling in a certain area, we will introduce a theme, or we will talk about a theme that will require more use of this grammar skill, and we can go over some of the rules and some of the ways that we introduce this grammar. The other point is vocabulary. So vocabulary, of course, is important. We need to know the words of the other language to speak, but when we are trying to think of words that we simply don't have, it causes weird pauses in conversation, and it decreases our confidence. So if we can learn more vocabulary and more new, fresh ways to say things, it'll increase our confidence and avoid those pauses that we have in our sentences. We'll also work on our rhythm. So that's how smooth we talk and different ways that we say sentences. So as a native English speaker, I have a different tone based on what I'm trying to say. I might ask you, did you do that? And my voice goes up. And then I might say, why did you come here? Or my voice goes down. And I'm implying something different. That's something we will talk about and we will work on in this class. And lastly, we're going to improve our creativity and work on our creativity, because being more creative makes speaking a lot more fun. When you can express different ideas and talk in different ways and use new words, it's what really makes learning a language and using a new language fun and awesome. So we'll work on that. Of course, we're going to learn some other things. It's not just grading you guys on the way that you speak. We're also going to do some other stuff, which is identifying different situations when we're speaking English. For example, formal and informal contexts. And we'll get a chance to work on that today, because today in our workshop later on in the second half of the course, we will be comparing formal and informal situations. We'll also learn about professional environments. How do we talk differently in professional environments versus relaxed environments or environments out in the public? How are we different? We'll talk about those. And we'll also give tips and provide different ways on how to express our different emotions. I listed a few emotions here. We have sympathy, gratitude, and objection, and those are just a few. So how do we talk to somebody when we want to empathize with them or be sympathetic? When I say that, how can we relate to them? Or gratitude, how do we show somebody that we are thankful for something they have done? Or objection, how do we disagree with somebody without being rude or without stating our point? Because we want to be honest. We want to be honest when we use our language, but we also want to be polite and courteous to other people. Okay, so how are we going to do this? We're going to talk and use different activities throughout the course. So the most basic form that we're going to use often, and we will use today, is discussion groups. And discussion groups are so important because we need to be talking. I want to emphasize talking. We have to use the language in order to improve our speaking skills. I don't want to just talk to you for every class and you not be able to practice speaking. The goal is for the students to be able to speak and talk to one another, and also with me, the native speaker. We're also going to learn different things through different activities like public speaking, where you'll get to maybe give a speech or a presentation as well to the other students. We'll learn about writing tasks, how to write formal and informal forms of writing. Debates, where we can challenge one another and express original thought using English to challenge each other and maybe argue for one side or the other. And then, of course, I love games, so I want to try and implement some games so we can have fun together, because learning goes best when we're all having fun. Okay, so this slide, I want to show you just the basic format of what this course will look like. So it's going to be 15 weeks long, and we're going to have 2 classes per week. Each class will be about an hour and a half, approximately, probably, right around an hour and a half. And we'll be discussing a wide variety of topics. We will not talk about the same thing every time. We're going to get new content, stuff that is relevant and fresh, where you can use your new knowledge in discussion and talk about it. So some of the topics that I have listed are economics, sports, culture, and business. And by the end of the course, we might be doing some more topics that are more abstract, where you need to think a little bit more about what you're going to say and produce original English sentences. Each class, I will be providing stuff for you. So I'll provide a background to the theme. I will always be showing you some different rules of speech, some new fresh terms that are maybe more creative, more fun to use. And I'll go over some pronunciation and rhythm practice. And what I find very important is I will provide some shortcuts and tips from a native perspective. So often when I talk with non-native speakers, you guys are doing a lot of work with your sentence construction, building your sentences. You use words that could be replaced with more simple words, or with content that is a little bit easier. So for example, when I'm talking to people here in Germany, they often like to use quantifiers like many and much, and they get them wrong. They use many for non-countable nouns. Like they say, yeah, I have many water, and that's not correct. And they'll say, yes, I have much chairs, which is countable, and they should be using many. Instead, we could use a word like a lot, which you'll hear most native speakers say, and you don't have to worry about thinking about the noun, if it's quantable, if it's countable or not. A lot works for both. So I have tips like this that I would like to provide you guys with to make your English a little faster and a little bit more clean. All right. So I want to open up right now. Are there any questions about my introduction or the course? All right. And all right, then we will get moving on to the next part, which is our workshop for today. So let me get to my other screen here and share it again. All right, right here, share screen. And all right, can you guys see this, Delina?
Not yet.
Okay, let me find that here.
Okay.
Short hiccup. We can
Right.
share. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm getting better with technology. I grew up on a farm and technology is not the most practiced thing. So getting used to technology is what I'll be learning. All right, so here is our introduction workshop, which is an introduction to the course, and we're also learning about introductions. So let me move this really quick so I can see. Perfect. Okay, so the importance of introductions. Yes, introductions are important, and we have two separate types of introductions when we're talking about them. We have formal and we have informal. So a formal situation is something more professional, while an informal situation would be talking with friends and having a relaxed conversation. Using the correct introductions do improve the conversation. It helps change the mood or the setting. And if we use the wrong introduction, we could come across as impolite or maybe too serious, too formal, and make our partner that we're speaking with less comfortable. So first, we will talk about formal introductions. So formal introductions, they are in professional or in important situations and environments. The goal here is to show respect while also showing important information to another person. We always make sure to use our whole name. When I'm meeting somebody in a professional environment, I don't simply say, hello, I'm Lee. I always say, hello, my name is Lee Castle. In this introduction, we will always discuss the important information first, and then we will move secondary to our hobbies and our interests and less important content. And that's generally how they will always go. There's less questions asked in a formal introduction. It might be a question right off the beginning, and we are expected to provide the information. So some of the common information that we should always include on a formal introduction is our name, our age, our origin or our hometown, our experiences as in work and school, our goals, and then lastly, our hobbies and interests. Some questions to expect. Like I said, in a formal introduction, we're going to have less questions, but we will have some right at the beginning, like, could you please introduce yourself? Can you tell me a little about yourself? It's asking the same question. Or we might get short questions about each piece of information. What is your name? What is your age? What is your experience? Where do you come from? And so on. Okay. Here are some other phrases that we could use to spice up our introductions. So I want to provide you guys with some background instead of just saying, yes, hello, I'm Lee Castle. I'm 25 years old. I come from Hershey, Pennsylvania, blah, blah, blah. We can use some more interesting phrases that spice up our the way we introduce ourselves. So if you are able to right now to take notes or be able to somehow record some of these phrases I have listed, I will go through and provide some examples of each one, and we can then use them later in the workshop. So instead of just saying hello, a great way based on the time of day to introduce yourself is good morning or good afternoon or good evening. So I could say, hello, or my name is Lee Castle, or I could say good evening or good morning, my name is Lee Castle. Instead of saying I'm from, which is very short and very simple, we could say I'm based in or I reside in. So that's something that's commonly used from native English speakers to talk about where they are currently living. So for example, right now I would say, good afternoon, I'm Lee Castle. I am currently based in Leipzig, Germany, or I reside in Leipzig, Germany. Another phrase we can use to talk about our hometown is say, but then also include where we're living now. So to talk about where we're from, where we are now, I could say, hello, my name is Lee Castle. I'm originally from Hershey, Pennsylvania, but now I am living in Leipzig, Germany, or now I'm based in Leipzig, Germany. Two other phrases that are commonly used that you can also feel free to use are I hail from, which is a little more formal, good for formal introductions, or I was born and raised in, which is a little more relaxed, but also acceptable. I was born and raised in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's talking about your hometown, not where you currently are, unless you're in the same place, then it's okay. Instead of saying I am for our age, I am 25 years old, we could use I turned this year. So for my example, I could say I turned 25 this year. It's also very acceptable and very normal just to say I am. But if you want to change and use some new stuff, be more creative, this is acceptable. To talk about your work, generally we just say I work as or I have worked as to describe our job either in the present or the past. I work as an English teacher. I have worked as a sales rep. To talk about our education and what we currently hold as far as our education, I don't have to say I got a bachelor's in business. It's a little bit better to say I hold a bachelor's in business or I completed a bachelor's in business. When we're introducing our hobbies, instead of saying simply my hobbies are ... we can say now where I was at, when we're introducing our hobbies, instead of simply saying yeah, my hobbies are traveling and climbing and hiking, a common one that I like to use personally is when I'm not working. So when I'm not working, you can find me in the mountains. You can find me traveling. You could find me watching movies with my friends. Simply, you say when I am not. You could use working in the office. If you're a student, you could say when I'm not studying. That's acceptable. You can find me doing your hobbies. Say your hobbies. You can also use simply my passions include or my favorite activities are. Those are other good options to use as well. Okay, so I'm going to move from this screen. So I'll give you guys a quick 10 seconds to look back over. If you want to write anything down that you may not have, now's a good chance. And then I will move to the next one. All right, moving to the next one. Okay, so I will give a quick example of a formal introduction. And then I would like to ask somebody in the class to give a formal introduction about themselves for the rest of us to hear. So my formal introduction. Hello, I am Lee Castle. I am 25 years old, and I am originally from Hershey, Pennsylvania, but now I reside in Leipzig, Germany. I've worked as a beer salesman, and now I am working as an English teacher. When I'm not working, you can probably find me in the mountains, hiking, exploring, and doing other forms of traveling. All right, that is a short example. We don't need to include every piece of information that I had listed, but to get the main important information first, your work experience, your age, your name, where you're from, those are the real important ones. So would anybody like to volunteer to give a introduction? And Selena, can you help me unmute them or get them selected here?
Yeah, of course. They can unmute themselves, so no problems, no restriction.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, if there's anybody who's willing to introduce yourself, you can take this opportunity. We are just showing you how this course is going to be done. So now you don't have much time to talk with the people, but this is just the introduction. In the class, you will have a lot of opportunities to speak. So this is one of them that we're going to show you an example. So you can show how you're going to introduce yourself in a formal manner. Am I right, Ms. Castle? In a formal or
yeah.
informal? Yeah.
Sure. A formal manner. Yeah, thank you.
Formal manner.
And if not, we can move on to the next one because we will all have a chance to talk in our discussion groups with one another. So
yeah, sure.
Okay. So yeah, for the sake of time, I will move on to the next one. So we have a better chance to talk with one another and get more practice speaking. So I will move to the next. So informal introductions. As we all know, informal introductions are in casual situations when we're with our friends, family, and people that aren't in formal context. So we're not in a business setting. We're not meeting somebody of a higher status. We're talking with maybe new friends. The goal of this kind of introduction is to relate to somebody. So one thing I've noticed in the country I'm living now, Germany, compared to the United States, which is English speaking, is they don't try as hard to relate to other people in an informal context. In the United States, when we're talking to another person, we love to talk, and we are constantly trying to ask questions and find something in common to relate to the other person and carry on the conversation to better know them. In this kind of introduction, we don't need to use our first and last name. And honestly, that would come across a little weird if you introduce yourself at a party and say, hello, my name's Lee Castle, instead of saying, hello, my name is Lee. When you use the first and last name, it seems a little much and a little weird. I would use just your first name. We also like to talk a lot more about our hobbies and leisure activities. It's much more important than in a formal context. And sometimes we even present that kind of information first. That way we can immediately start conversing and talking. A lot of informal introductions are based on questions. So when somebody asks you informally about yourself, you don't just rattle down you don't just say all of your information like a formal context. You say bits and pieces with details, and then you ask questions back and forth. There's a lot of question asking. So some of the common information. It's going to be very similar to talking in a formal context. It's just done differently. So we use our name, only our first name. We talk about where we come from a lot of times, our work, but we're really interested on getting to the hobbies and the experience. That's the meat of this kind of introduction. That's what we want to talk about with another person. We want to find out their personality. So there's a few different things we want to do when we're meeting somebody informally, and that's breaking the ice. Break the ice is a metaphor in English-speaking countries talking about how everything is frozen when you meet somebody. But when you break the ice, metaphorically, if you break the ice, then you can talk to one another and it's not so intense, it's more relaxed. So we have types of questions called icebreakers, which are questions that make people feel more relaxed, more honest, and then you can talk. So we have to break the ice when we are talking to people informally. We also ask and answer a lot of questions to find common ground. It's how we learn more about each other. And in English, we love to talk and find common ground. And the last part is show your personality, be honest, and yeah, be charismatic so other people can get a feel of who you are in this context. So, some very casual ways to introduce yourself to one person or a group of people would be, hey, I'm Lee, or what's up, guys? I'm Lee. Nice to meet you, or howdy. If you're in the South, if you're using howdy in like the United Kingdom, that might come across a little different. In Southern United States, it's a very common term. But basically, these phrases I have listed here are ways you can approach a group. If a bunch of people are standing in a circle and you want to approach that circle of people and talk to them, you can simply walk up and say, hey guys, I'm Lee, nice to meet you, and then start conversing. So these are some of the entrance statements that you might be able to say. All right, here are some of the questions to ask and to answer. So once you enter this group of people and you're in an informal context, you want to keep talking. You want to ask questions. And when you're talking to strangers, that can be difficult. So here are some easy questions to get an informal introduction going. So, what brings you here? What do you do for work? What do you enjoy doing? Where do you come from? What's your favorite? And that can be many things. What's your favorite hobby? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite place to travel to? You get the idea. And then we have another question. What do you think about? And this is a great question because it asks other people about their opinions and their thoughts, something that can really get a conversation going. Now, we don't often ask that question first, but we might ask it second or third to get a conversation going. Very often at the beginning, we ask for the general information, which would be what do you do for work, or what brings you here? What brings you here is literally asking, why are you here? Or yeah, how did you hear about this event? So on. But yeah, we'd ask those more simple questions first, then the more elaborate questions second. Okay, a very, very important part of informal introductions is an escape plan, a way to leave the conversation. Because you can get caught, you can talk to people who can just keep talking and talking and talking, and you want to go meet other people. How do you leave that person? Well, there's a few phrases that signify an end of a conversation politely instead of just turning and walking away. Some of these phrases include, well, it was nice meeting you, or I hate to run off, but I need to go. Best of luck. It was great to talk to you. Enjoy your time here. Well, I should get going. Those are all great ways to signify the end of an introduction. And the word well is very important. You'll often hear English speakers go, well, and they'll pause. Well, that means the conversation is coming to an end, and it's really good to use. Well, best of luck. It was nice meeting you, and then you can walk away. Or, well, I hate to run off, but I need to go. That also works. So, I also have a couple icebreaker phrases, which I talked about, or icebreaker questions, which I briefly talked about. Yes, an icebreaker is a question used in casual conversation. So here's a few examples. You can be creative and make your own, honestly. You don't need to be a native speaker to come up with an icebreaker. An icebreaker is an honest question that you're asking about somebody else to find something about their personality. So in these few examples, some of them are a little easier. Some of them are more of jokes. Some of them, yeah, are a little deeper, a little harder to understand, maybe require a little more talking. So right here we have, what is your caffeinated beverage of choice, which is saying, what's your favorite caffeinated beverage or caffeinated drink? Coffee, cola, or tea? It's easy. Someone can pick, and then you can ask them, why did you pick coffee? And the conversation can go farther. What is the best book you've ever read? If you were famous, what would you be famous for? What is your absolute dream job? And what would your dream house be like? Those are just some examples of icebreaker questions. So in our workshop, you can feel free to use your own that you're coming up with. You can use some of these questions that I have provided here. So if you want to take notes of them, please do remember them, and we can use them later in our workshop. Okay, so here is a chance to provide some more examples. And for the sake of time, because I want us to start talking, I'll provide something really quick with you guys, and then we can work on it in the groups, because I would like a full 15 minutes for us at least to try talking together today. Because class is shorter and I would like to give you a chance. So a quick example, hey guys, what's up? My name's Lee. I'm from Hershey. I work right now as a beer salesman, or I work right now as an English teacher. And I really like to go hiking. I really like to travel. And then I'll list some of my hobbies, but in a real situation, we'll be asking questions back and forth. So you see how I came in and I said, what's up guys? My name's Lee. And then I provided really quick little information, but then I want to elaborate on my hobbies. And now we will have a chance to get into discussion groups. We'll make groups of about 4 to 5, so we have time to switch and try speaking on our own. What I would like to do is give everybody a chance to give a formal introduction to the group that they're in, and then we will all practice informal introductions. To do an informal introduction, it's going to take full group participation. So whoever's up will ask a question or will state, hey guys, my name's Lee, and then the other members will ask those questions to get the discussion going. So first, do a formal introduction to the group. Everybody will take a turn, and then we'll do informal introductions in our groups, and we will talk to one another and ask questions at that time. If we finish that, I have some situations for introductions, some hypothetical situations, and we can look at them and discuss. Is that a formal introduction or is that an informal introduction? So right now we will break into groups. So let me pull back here are the situations. Let me pull back and assign these groups. So right here. All right. There we go, up top. Let me get that. All right. Elaine, I'm having a little trouble getting to the control bar here. All
right. You can stop share, and then you can go to the breakout rooms.
Okay. Let me get this right here to stop share.
Go to the top of the screen, then you'll find view options.
Wow. Thank you very much. Okay. So We're on share. Oh, there it was. Okay. And let me get out of that. Stop share. Perfect. And now we'll get into the discussion groups here. Okay, the groups. Breakout rooms. We'll get into groups of, we have how many people here right now? Do we have 15?
15, so we'll make around 6 groups. What do you think? Or maybe like 2-3 people in one group, so say 4 groups?
4
Maybe.
groups. I think 4 groups is good. And
Yeah.
we'll do that. And me and Thelina will come around to the different groups, talk to you guys, give you some feedback. And yeah, we'll have some fun. So a reminder, first, we'll do formal introductions. Each person gets a chance. Second, we'll do informal introductions. If we finish, we'll talk about different situations. All right, I'm going to create the groups here and we'll get started. All right, perfect. All right. All right, did that work?
Yeah, now everybody's going to receive the message, so they have to accept it.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, perfect. We have 3 sitting around, but I will go to group number 1.
I'll check on group number 2 then. Hello, guys. I think you can understand what we say, right? ඔයාලට තේරෙනව නේද අපි කියන දේ මොන හරි ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවද? තමෝත්‍ය දමින්ද මේ program එක යන හැටි තමයි describe කරන්නේ. So can you understand English? English okay? තේරෙනවද?
Yes, can understand.
Great, great. So now this is how we do the group practice. Okay, so we will group the people into small groups and we have group activities. Then you get into the group and you discuss in the group. While you are in the group, the teacher or your trainer will come around and he will talk with you guys and he will help you up. And if you have any questions, you can ask. So this is one of the activities that we do, right? So now this opportunity is for you guys to practice, you know, the formal introduction. කොහොමද කෙනෙක් formal introduce කරන්නේ කියන එක වලට චුට්ටක් practice වෙන්න අර කියපු දේවල් උත්තරගෙන දුන්නු chance එකක්. So if you guys are free, you can just talk to your friends, no problem, right? What introduction එකක් දෙන්න. බොරු details හරි කමක් නැහැ. Yeah. Anybody can take the first opportunity. You can talk freely. No one, you're not talking. නිකන් කතා කරන්න ඔයාලා. කොහොමද like sound, you know, you just can't check how it sounds like. නේද? කොහොමද වැඩි යන්නේ නිකන් අපිට නිකන් යාළුවෙක් අඳුර ගන්න. Right? Formal introduction එකක් කොහොමද කරන්නේ? Just give it a try. Mrs. Daminta, is it okay, right? You're not comfortable with this or what?
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. My name is Damindilu Pella. I'm working in a private company, private firm, working as a executive.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one sister and one brother,
Right.
and I am living in Colombo area.
Okay.
And I'm married and I have two kids.
Okay.
One is daughter. She's 4 years old,
Mhm.
and my son is 9 years old. He's also learning.
Mhm.
Uh,
So why do you want to practice English?
yeah, actually, I'm working in the international company, but I want to expose with some foreigners and others to closely work in
Right.
English.
Okay.
Therefore, and also I need to some presentation
Mhm.
kind of things. Therefore, I want to be a fluently guy to talk with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely you have to. So what do you think about these programs? Do you have any opinion?
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking that's a good way to get the good practice for us,
Yeah.
because we don't have much opportunity to talk with others, especially for foreigners.
Yeah.
Therefore, better experience this kind of courses.
Exactly. So this is only the introduction program, Mr. Thamindas, which is we have different activities and programs arranged for this. So you'll have much opportunities to talk with the trainer. So you just can grab the language, like the pronunciation, the style of speaking English, especially the pronunciation and accent. You know, we have certain things like to train you with the rhythm and the flow of the language and different terms and phrases. So they are very important in speaking with foreigner or someone. So you'll be given all the training in this course because we're going to have 15 weeks. So I believe that now people can understand, because I'm sometimes worried that if they can understand, because the whole program goes in English. So people like you, that's fine, totally all right. But sometimes some people might have some issues. That's why I was asking. Well,
okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Amina. That's
Thank you.
really appreciable, right? Thank you. Mr. Thamodia, can you talk? Are you comfortable enough to speak a few words? Or maybe Mr. Madhuranga? You may not use your real names if you want to. You can keep your identity hidden if you want to. That's totally all right with us. You can just talk with your friends. ඔයාලට ඔයාගේ අනන්‍යතාවය සංගවලා තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම කිසිම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ.
Hello, sir.
Hello, yeah, you can speak up.
How are you keeping up, sir?
Well, doing better, right? How about you?
Me too, sir.
Yes, you can introduce yourself if you're willing to.
Okay, sir. I'm Thamodaya and I'm 12 years old. So here I'm learning. So my school is Manaratta Parakram Mahavidyalaya. So maybe you know about that school. So I'm doing English medium from grade 6. So now I'm in grade 7. So
Wow,
I have one brother.
Mm-hmm. You said you're in grade 12, am I right?
Sorry?
You said you're in grade 12, right?
Grade 7.
Grade 7, okay, right, that's great. So what do you think about this program, Thamodaya?
Actually, sir, this program is excellent. I think from this course, I'll be speaking English fluently.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. So do you have an experience with speaking with foreigners? Because I'm sure that you're living in Colombo area, so you might have a lot of opportunities to speak with foreigners.
No, sir, I'm from Bamba.
Are you?
No, I'm not.
What's your school, you said? What was your school?
Bandaravatta Parakram Mahavidyalaya.
All right, okay. So do you do this English medium or what?
English medium.
All right, because your English sounds good. So you can practice with the trainer, because this is just the introduction program. So there will be a lot of activities. You have to move with people, you have to talk with other people here, and you have a lot of opportunities to improve your speaking skills, listening skills. There will be a lot of things to do. That's really nice to have met with you, Pramodya.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we have Madhuranga Jayasundara. Madhuranga, you can speak a few words if you're willing to. Hello guys, this is Telina, right? I've talked to you already. So you can speak a few words, right? You can introduce yourself as Mr. Castle said. Right? You can talk to your friends, you can introduce yourself, maybe in informal way or formal way, or you can just talk, right? And if you want to, you can keep your identity hidden, that's all right. So just speak a few words. This is just the introduction program, right? I think we have Nuansa here. Nuansa? I don't know if he's, we can't hear you, sir. I think your mic is mute. Maybe he's busy. Ashani or Aruni, can someone speak a few words? Maybe Sean, Chandima?
Yes, I some network issues. I think now is raining here, so I
All right.
can't. I have some network issues.
Okay, no problem, no problem. That's right. So you keep your device safe, because if it's raining, that's dangerous. So that's all right.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay, we can talk to Aruni. Aruni, are you there? Or maybe Ashani. Ashani. Yes, Ashani, can you speak a few words? You can unmute yourself and you can introduce yourself. පුතා ඔයාලට තේරෙනව නේද මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකේ යන දේ අපි සිංහලෙන් දැන් මම විතරනේ ඉන්නේ සිංහලෙන් කතා කරන්න because your trainer he doesn't understand anything, yeah? So you only have to speak in English, so you have to take the maximum of it, like out of this opportunity. Right, in a few minutes we'll be going back to the main session, so we'll see, right? We'll see you there. I think they're coming back.
Yes, I think so. I entered the breakout room. I bounced around to a few groups, but the groups seem to be changing a little bit.
All
so
right.
I made it around to and talked to the groups. I wish I could have made it to all of them, but we are running out on time, unfortunately.
Exactly. So I think they have an idea about how the program is going to run, so we can wind up with if you have any other activity, that's fine, because they have a clear idea how it's going to run. No problem with that. So
yeah.
If you're okay, we can wind up after saying what you have to say at the end.
Yeah. So I think we can wind up now. Yeah. I really enjoyed jumping around to some of the other groups and hearing all of you guys speak and getting an idea of where you are with your English level. I definitely have some ideas about what we can work on as far as pronunciation and our rhythm, maybe some of our vocabulary in the next few classes. So yeah, if you're excited, if you liked the class, you liked the workshop, you enjoy speaking English and having a chance to talk to other people, yeah, please sign up for the class, and I hope to see you guys in the next few weeks. That's about what I have for today.
Yeah, so I believe that they have a good time, because they seem to be a little bit shy to talk. Maybe that's the first time. But I had the opportunity to speak to a few gentlemen over there and some students. Actually, they were really happy and they were really excited to have this opportunity to talk with you. So we were just showing how this program is going to run. Actually, we could only show you only one group activity that we're going to do in the class. So I want to let you know that there will be a lot of activities and practices, especially about the pronunciation, and of course about how you have to, train yourself. There will be a lot of things. Mr. Lee is going to have a lot of things in stores, so he will give all of this what he has actually. If you're willing to join this program, you're kindly invited to join us. And I bet that this is going to be the best program in Sri Lanka, because this is a very special one at this particular price. So we only charge 16,000 rupees in Sri Lankan rupees. That's all we charge for this course. So if you're willing, if you wish to join, so please drop a message. We have a group created over there, so you can chat on the group now. So you can leave a message there. So we'll get back to you. If you want to talk to us, you can talk to us. And yeah, so we're going to start very soon, and we'll let you know about the starting date and everything. So Mr. Lee will be ready to meet you afterwards.
Yep.
So thank you very much.
To it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. Thank you very much for your time. And it was really nice to have you here. And also I have to thank all the people who joined the program. And of course, yes, I have already recorded the program, and I'll send this to the group. So the ones who couldn't join the program, they will have the chance to have a look at this and have an idea about how the program is going to run. Yeah. So Lee, so any last words for today?
I really appreciate the chance of getting to talk to all of you, and I really hope that to see you in the course, to get a chance to know you and converse with you and talk to you over the next few weeks and months. So yeah, about it.
Okay, all right then. So then, thank you very much, Ms. Lee. So you have a good day over there.
Will do. I'll see you guys later.
All right then. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for today's session, and we'll see you again soon. And for Sri Lankans, a good night.